Hello, we're Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile, and before the end of our stitched-together summer, we're taking a look at the summer camp slasher, The Burning.
The burning is what happens when I make toast.
And what happens when I pee.
The Burning is a 1981 slasher film directed by Tony Maylam, known for 1970s rock documentaries and the Rutger Hauer movie Split Second.
Which is how long I would date Roger Howard if I had to eat chocolate balls off of his dirty fridge.
The concept of The Burning, originally titled The Cropsy Maniac, is based on a campfire story told at summer camps around New Jersey and upstate New York. Cropsy was rumored to be an escaped mental patient with a hook for a hand who dragged kids back to the tunnel system under the abandoned asylum.
The hell? That sounds more interesting than this movie!
The screenplay was written by Bob Weinstein and Peter Lawrence from a story conceived by Tony Maylam, Brad Gray, and producer Harvey Weinstein. The Weinsteins' parents, Miriam and Max, helped fund the movie, which is why the production company became Miramax.
Aw, that's sweet.
The film marks the debut of Jason Alexander, Fisher Stevens, Holly Hunter, and producer Harvey Weinstein's predatory behavior.
Ew, that's gross.
Effects artist Tom Savini actually turned down Friday the 13th Part 2 to work on this. Savini could not understand the logic that Jason was now fully grown and the killer.
Anything is possible with bad writing.
So let's see if The Burning is hot. Or not. One night at Camp Blackfoot, several campers plan a prank on the caretaker named Cropsy.
Tonight's the night that we scare the shit out of Cropsy, because when he wakes up...
His pants are gonna be full of poop.
So the boys sneak over to Cropsy's cabin to set up.
Too late. I already pissed myself.
That's the intimidating killer? I'm pretty sure I can see up his nose into his brain. Wow, it's so roomy in here. Would you look at that? They're building a Starbucks. Should we be concerned that the boys have a worm-infested human skull? That isn't their mother?
It probably belonged to the last caretaker.
Cropsy is frightened by the skull and accidentally knocks it onto his bed, starting a fire.
The legs on fire actually belong to Tom Savini.
At least Cropsy isn't stupid enough to sleep next to a can of gasoline.
Oh, god damn it!
Cropsy then runs outside, fully engulfed in flames.
Yet, he's still chilly.
Little buddy, why do you say that?
Now he's wearing gloves and a hat.
The caretaker stumbles and falls down into a river as the boys flee.
Come on, Spec. Come on. Come on.
Come on, now let's go prank the lunch lady.
Despite his horrific burns, Cropsy is still alive. 1 week later, we're taken to the hospital where a nurse dares the new guy to peek at the burnt freak.
You're never gonna see a freak like this.
God! He requested a second Jell-O cup over an hour ago! 5 years later, Cropsy is released from the hospital. The skin grafts failed, so he hides his burns by wearing a coat and hat.
Ah, the Ninja Turtle disguise.
So Crispy Cropsy is free to do whatever he wants, and what he wants is to boink. Cropsy's POV was achieved by smearing the edges of the camera lens with Vaseline, which probably came from one of those adult stores.
When you're a burnt freak, you don't have many options. My dating profile still has 0 hits!
Are you coming up? 'Cause I'm going in.
What he's about to say to his limp penis. Are you coming up? 'Cause I'm going in.
He's not very sneaky with those bells on his shoes.
A prostitute takes Cropsy to her apartment, where he tries to cut a loose string off her shirt. If only her safe word wasn't harder. At Camp Stonewater, the counselors and campers are playing softball. Whoa! It's weird seeing George Costanza with hair.
Look at that ass. You see that? Oh yeah, I want it. I want it. I mean,
Easy, George. Be the master of your domain. Tiger, one of the campers, goes to search for the ball lost in the woods, narrowly avoiding Cropsy. Don't do it! Her hair was already cut by a gardening tool. The next morning, a camper named Sally takes a shower, 'cause horror movie.
Michelle, is that you? You hear that?
It's probably Harvey Weinstein in a towel, looking for a massage. Sally's screams bring the attention of counselors Michelle and Todd, who catch Alfred. Michelle is furious at Alfred's actions and demands that he leaves.
what do you have to say about that, Alfred?
He knew he should have made the peephole just a little smaller.
Todd talks to Alfred and learns that he has no friends and was merely trying to scare Sally.
They're all always picking on me. I don't have any friends.
It's okay. I believe him. However, Sally's boyfriend Glazer isn't so forgiving.
I'm gonna tear you up so bad, your own mother won't recognize you.
She'll have to recognize him by sensing the disappointment. Glazer then pushes Alfred into the lake, even though he can't swim. Luckily, George and his pals save him. Really, George is saving him from shrinkage.
Oh my God. I'm really sorry.
Fed up with this bully, they shoot Glazer with a BB gun.
Park 'em.
Oh God! I've seen Costanza's crack! My eyes need Vaseline! That night, Alfred spots Cropsy outside his window, but nobody believes him.
Oh!
What are you looking at?
At the window there.
Whoops. Sorry, there's a line of us burnt freaks out here. Behind me is Darth Vader and Freddy Krueger.
Dang it! Where the heck is that lake?
The following day, the campers go on a canoe trip down Devil's Creek. A few more minutes of banjo music, and they'll be begging Steve Martin for death. That night, around the campfire, Todd tells the kids about the legend of Cropsy.
For a start, he was a drunk. 2 bottles of whiskey a day, no problem.
2 bottles? Our mother drinks that in an hour.
You know what? It's easier without a liver.
And he had these garden shears. He carried them all the time, wherever he went.
Yet Cropsy hasn't trimmed a single hedge.
Cried out, "I will return! I will have my revenge!"
Weird. All I heard were screams. I should really put on the subtitles. Suddenly, one of the campers jumps out to scare the kumbaya out of everybody.
Ah, Eddie has a better chance of getting laid with the mask on.
It's actually true. That night, clearly shot during the day, Eddie and Karen go to a lake and skinny dip.
Cropsy finally found a bush that needs trimming.
Karen reconsiders playing Find the Water Moccasin with Eddie and leaves to find her clothing scattered in the woods. Don't worry, the cameraman found him using a homing device. As she collects them, Cropsy cuts her throat. So her options were sleep with the creep or die. Who the hell came up with this story? The next morning, although maybe this is still supposed to be night, Michelle discovers that Karen and all of the canoes are missing.
Are we really gonna build a raft?
We're gonna have to.
A raft? Forget the slasher, they need to look out for black goo. So Eddie, Fish, Woodstock, Diane, and Barbara search for the canoes on a makeshift raft. They spot a canoe and paddle to it. Nah, they just missed young Jason pulling Alice into the lake. Instead, they are ambushed by another Tom Savini creation.
Ladies, I'm sure you've paid for worse manicures.
Apparently, nobody could hold the shears to director Tony Maylam's liking, so in a lot of the scenes, he played the killer. However, the real star is Tom Savini, who really cuts loose. And to top it off, the scene fades to red.
The editor was then gored by a bull.
Glazer and Sally finally boink, but he finishes prematurely.
I'm sorry, Sally. I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
Something's telling me that this movie's climax is going to be a letdown.
Is that Vaseline, or did the killer get jizz in his eyes? Is that why they call him Glazer?
When Glazer leaves to get matches, Cropsy shoves his shears into Sally's chest. She-shows down by the seashore. She wanted penetration for more than 3 seconds, but not like this.
Alfred is sneaky. Probably why he trained Batman.
Little buddy, it's not the same Alfred. Although this would be a pretty interesting origin story for a butler. Glazer returns, only for Cropsy to stab him through the throat and pin him to a tree.
First, Glazer was coming, and now he's gone.
Look, being a burn victim isn't giving this dweeb super strength. I would know. Who the hell closed these pickles? After witnessing Glazer's death, Alfred wakes up Todd, only for Todd to be knocked out.
At least Todd gets to finish his nap.
Alfred is then chased by Cropsy into the woods. Clever! Cropsy will never hear him crapping himself over the score. Meanwhile, Michelle spots the makeshift raft and discovers the mutilated bodies.
That's the closest all summer he's come to touching a boob.
Todd regains consciousness and has the remaining campers go back to camp to contact the authorities. Jeez. Who died?
Todd put you up to.
God damn it! Look at those kids!
They look like they just saw the ending of Sleepaway Camp. Thinking the killer is made out of wood, Todd grabs an axe and searches for Alfred, who is chased to an abandoned copper mine. There's gotta be a girl showering around here somewhere. Searching for his non-existent friends, Alfred is grabbed by Cropsy, who pins him to a wall.
Leave him alone! He doesn't know who Batman is!
Todd finds the mine shaft, where he discovers Karen's body. Or at least a still frame of her death scene from earlier? If you're gonna be that lazy, might as well shove everyone into that mine. Cropsy lights up a flamethrower, and a flashback shows us Todd was one of the boys involved with the prank. How I feel after eating some spicy nuggets. Just when you think something cool is about to happen, Todd has to aimlessly wander some more. Ugh. The last 15 minutes has been like watching someone look for their car keys. This runtime ain't gonna pad itself. Oh God! He's bald!
Well, if the revenge thing doesn't work, he can always cover up his face and review movies on YouTube.
Todd is attacked by Cropsy, while the movie replays its one good scene. Meanwhile, Todd is desperately looking for a worm-infested skull. Alfred manages to free himself and stabs Cropsy with his own shears.
At least he'll have an interesting story when he goes back to school.
But before they can leave, the killer always comes back for one last scare.
Alfred, get out!
You see, Cropsy doesn't know it, but this has all been part of Todd's elaborate 5-year prank. Alfred then ignites Cropsy's body with his own flamethrower. Burn him once, shame on you. Burn him twice, fuck him. The boys leave as Cropsy turns to ash. Meanwhile, at a different fire, some campers retell the legend of Cropsy.
Right now, he's out there watching, waiting.
For a sequel that will never come.
In the end, the body count is 10.
But Woodstock only counted 7.
The Burning was called a Friday the 13th ripoff. However, the film was written months before Friday the 13th hit theaters. The Burning struggled to earn back its $1.5 million budget and couldn't compete with the other horror movies at the time.
Like 1981's Going Ape, starring Danny DeVito.
There were creative differences between the producers and director, so special effects artist Tom Savini was asked to write and direct a new ending. Originally, it was to take place in a boathouse, then a cave, and then a mine. Savini was unhappy with the Cropsy burn makeup because he only had 3 days to work on it.
No wonder Savini wanted to be the one to swing an axe into Cropsy's face.
The film was edited by Jack Shoulder, who later directed the first film for New Line Cinema, Alone in the Dark. He also directed A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. The Burning was heavily edited to receive an R rating and was one of the first movies on the UK's Video Nasties list for being too violent for home rental.
Owning this does make me feel nasty.
The Burning is a unique slasher in that there isn't a final girl. The final boys who survive the killer are the Peeper and Todd, who has a violent past. He torched a dude and got away with it, so no wonder he treats Alfred's peeping as boys being boys. There are some fun secondary characters, but the film lacks a likable protagonist.
Like most movies with Adam Sandler.
The Burning involved a lot of up-and-coming talents. However, it's an average slasher movie that is only notable for its garden shears-wielding killer and Savini's effects on that raft. If the script were just a little extra crispy, then The Burning wouldn't be so raw. We've been Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile.
Thanks for liking and subscribing.
We'll see you next time.